Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to Formula Virtual Racing. We are here this evening around the famous Silverstone circuit, the home of Formula 1. Some could say the home of Formula Virtual Racing, however our two commentators will certainly say different. We're here around the Silverstone circuit in Buckinghamshire and North Hampshire, the United Kingdom, for what could be a title deciding Grand Prix. Everything is on the line here in Silverstone as we get going in qualifying. My name of course is Evan Dalton and I'm joined alongside Brendan. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. We have our championship fight. While we would technically have three people still in the fight, named Legend Rosberg, Thomas May and Lewis McWilliam. Given Lewis McWilliam picked up a race ban for accumulation of penalty points, which would be 12, he is not able to race today and therefore is eliminated from contention. So we have just Legend Rosberg and Thomas May, with a 15-point difference in the McLaren driver's favour.
Yep, there is a 15-point difference in the McLaren driver's favour. If Legend Rosenberg outscores Thomas Main by 11 points today in Silverstone, he picks up his third Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers' Championship. Of course, the situation would be Lewis McWilliam had to outscore his teammate by 6 points, but Lewis picking up a race ban, that is invalid, and McWilliam is out of the championship fight. It is then Rosenberg versus Thomas Main, and Thomas Main cannot win the title, of course, because if Rosenberg can wrap it up, Main certainly can't. In terms of the constructors, it can be wrapped up today, but the maths I haven't done, and I will be openly honest with you about that one. We're looking at Rosenberg on the lap as we have some good news. The return of Avesta Gobadi. Avesta's able to be with us this evening. He's got everything up in ship shape, and the Alpine is here. And will he be possibly stopping his old rival in this season? We'll have to wait and see. Rosenberg, as we see, heading through Copse Corner, Maggots, Beckers and Chapel, will go properly through a lap later as Borbune sets the banker time of a 1:30.506. It's will definitely be beaten. It will definitely be beaten. We are expected to have 20 drivers here this evening. We expect Tyler Davison, the Season 4 British Grand Prix winner, to be joining us in the middle of this qualifying session. Qualifying bans for or suspensions I should say, from Leroy Van Schendel, Kyle Davison and Jake Marsh. So the man from Leeds will start his home Grand Prix from the back of the grid. Here comes Rosenberg across the line. The banker time will be a 26.812. That is what's said for everybody to beat. And why did they beat it? That is another question. Tim Wenting goes to third, the Hassman returning. Another previous winner of the British Grand Prix, of course, is Tim Wenting, won in Season 3 in that mad battle with Benjamin Ballward, Kai Eltink, Jack Redmond, Tyler Davis and Karem Demirtas. And oh, Brendan, if we get another race like that, I will be very jolly leaving the commentary box this evening.
Yep, I just want to point out Aaron McFall has done a lap on the hard compound
He's done a lap on the hard compound tyres. That's an interesting one.
That's the first for FVR.
That is a first. Aaron McFall is the first ever man to complete a qualifying lap on the hard compound tyres in Formula Virtual Racing history. He's trying to get in the Hall of Fame. That's one way to go about it. Thomas Main goes to second. Title rival Rosenberg instantly beaten by his home hero teammate Luke Davies goes to second, but they are almost 6/10 adrift of the Dutchman on pole position. We don't have the weather conditions for the race, but of course Legend Rosenberg's pretty nifty in the wet, so they're hoping for a sunny afternoon here in the United Kingdom. Glennon is on a run through Maggots, Beckets and Chapel. But Brendan, that's a very good banker time by Legend Rosenberg.
Yeah, you could say that. He is very much clear. I would say, how much more time could he find here as he is going to come into the pits, because fuel is not plentiful in this car right now, as there's a stoppage of Jake Marsh on the entrance to the pit lane. Oh, he's disqualified himself.
Well, he does have a qualifying ban, so that is all okay. But Jake will definitely be starting at the back now. Glenn goes 9th on that hot lap. We're still awaiting times from a lot more people here. We're waiting for Matsu. Matsu's full name I do have. I know his first name is Mats. Hold on one second. It is Mats the Zoet. I've butchered it, but it's something along those lines. We're just going to call him Mats for conversation's sake. Nobody on a hot lap right now. Seb Millsy set a lap on the mediums, meaning we have every dry compound on the leaderboard so far. And it's a shame Kyle Albert isn't here, because we'd probably have every wet compound on the leaderboard then as well.
Well, yeah, Kyle Albert and Juan Hernandez. Maybe, although Leroy has selected the inters, but I don't think he'll be out.
Oh, Brendan, 1 second. Just going to jump over. We have a weather report. No rain in quali. And in the race, rain incoming 1 hour into the race. So if we get an hour into the race, the rain will probably come early. But coming near the end of the race, we're going to get some wet spots on the asphalt. Now, Brendan, I am going to cast our minds back to a time long, long ago. It was the Season 1 British Grand Prix, the first ever round of Formula Virtual Racing. There was rain with 2 laps to go in the Grand Prix, so we could be getting a bit of a throwback. It's a historic race possibly, which could see Rosenberg seal up his 3rd driver's title. We could see Thomas Main take 1 step towards his 1st driver's title. We could see McLaren even seal their 1st constructor's title, and we could see Mercedes take another step towards sealing their constructor's title. Of course, Davies and Main, both with good representation so far in this qualifying session. 2nd and 3rd. We'll look at Juan Hernandez heading down the Wellington Straight in towards Luffield. It's a very good corner, Luffield, because it leads nicely into an overtaking opportunity.
There is room to go side by side and to battle here all around Silverstone. As often Hornets invites different racing lines, that the one you take isn't always going to be, isn't one such specific line, although in the cops you have, most people would agree, you'd take the singular line here, Maggots and Beckett's.
Well, most people would agree. Twitter probably would say different.
That's it. Alright, Evan. I know what you mean. It's been...
Oh no, it hurts me very much inside. But I'm just saying, I'm here for everyone. As we're looking at Hernandez entering in towards Stowe Corner, down towards the pit lane and in towards the Vale Chicane and Club Right-Hander. The Club Right-Hander is a very, very difficult corner. Catch drivers out as Juan Hernandez is going to head towards the line. We'll see what the Spaniard can put his Ferrari. The good race in Spa. That's a good lap time from Juan Hernandez so far in Silverstone. It is a 0.4 of a second off pole position. Yep, you heard that correctly, folks. 0.4 of a second off pole position. And Rosenberg is out on track getting ready for another run. Liam Houseman is on another run. He's a 1/10 of a second up. And the top 5 are separated by a second. Sometimes top 5 can be separated by a 1/10. That's absolutely not the case here at Silverstone.
Yeah, it seems like there's, when you've Legend, then you've got Juan, Luke and Thomas. Then you have Liam Houseman, Tim Wenting, Enzo. Then a little bit of gap, Cameron, and gap Aaron, gap Chloe, gap Barbune. Massive gap Seb.
And then no one else set a lap yet. Seb, though, will go much quicker because he has set a lap on the medium compound of tyres. Of course, you can change your tyres now, whereas before you couldn't before a race. So some drivers will have an extra set of mediums in the Grand Prix, and some will use hards in qualifying. Just like Aaron McFall. Here comes Houseman to the line. Liam Houseman, beats the 2 Mercedes. That's not a bad lap at all by Liam Houseman. He's put himself onto the 2nd row of the grid, front position of the 2nd row of the grid. However, the 2 Mercedes are building up for a lap now. Let's go on board with Lightning Luke Davies for a lap around Silverstone.
Yeah, so turn 1, not too bad. Now, next couple of turns here, you just need to get them right on the thread and needle pretty much. Just make sure you hit the apex. You get a smooth exit just through the left key and on to the straight. Now you see, brake now, you can take a wider line or tuck in. Usually tucking in is probably a little quicker. Just save the distance, and through Luffield, and get the exit now onto the old, well, it is the old pit straight, or arguably this is the MotoGP pit straight, and nowadays
that's a crash. That's a crash for Cameron Rowlands. The Welshman has crashed at that final club corner. And if you're wondering what the big box that just appeared on your screen was, it was me getting a notification that Tyler Davison's now online, meaning Jake Marsh won't be the only Yorkshireman here in the session. Aaron McFall's just gone to 3rd. Legend Rosenberg improves to a 26.5, and there's something telling me he could go into the garage and that'd still be pole position, because the only man who's really beaten Rosenberg in qualifying this season is Tyler Davison in the wet. Actually, no, I apologise. Lewis McWilliam has beaten Rosenberg in qualifying on multiple occasions. So I apologise, Lewis. because you're probably listening. Davies is at a horror show through Club Corner. Oh, never mind. Davies goes to second. He lost a lot of time through Club Corner, so there's more in that lap for Luke Davies, but it's a 0.661 gap between Rosenberg and Luke Davies. And is that the largest pole gap this season? Surely it is. I can't think of anything that was quicker.
Maybe Legend, he has had a few dominant pole positions. Maybe Monaco might be something to check.
Oh yeah, probably. Oh, Seb Mills round at the final corner. He is sideways on the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. He's got it going now though. Williams running 11 and 12, which is not even a bad qualifying for Williams. Oh, another Williams has gone round. That's Glennon, who's gone round to the exit of Stowe Corner. And not sure if Glennon was improving, but certainly not now, as the Williams saunters back into the pits. Still no lap from Avestigo Badi, Leroy Vincendo, Guilherme Messaguer, Matsu Mats. And then, of course, we won't be getting a lap from Leroy or Jake. I apologise for the Leroy one. And they both picking up qualifying bans. 5 minutes and 13 seconds to go here in Silverstone for what could be a title deciding Grand Prix in Formula Virtual Racing. It's currently Legend Rosenberg on pole, joined by Luke Davies on the front row. How Luke would love to win his home Grand Prix. How anyone would love to win this race in Silverstone. It's an iconic one, and it's one you get a lot of champagne for winning for. There was 7,800 bottles of champagne were drank at the 2019 British Grand Prix. Rumour has it, 90% of those belong to Jake Marsh, as Davies into the pit lane.
A lot of champagne for a small man.
See, he's watching, that's the only reason we've insulted him. Back to the action then, here in Silverstone. Enzo King is on a lap. Enzo returned in last week in Spa-Francorchamps. It was not the most notable of returns, not like Thomas Main's return back in Canada in season number... Was that season 4? It was season 4, because it was the change onto the new game.
Yep. Well, season 4 was our closest championship fight.
How I'd love that one again next week.
To be fair, this fight has managed to go down fairly close.
It's a lot closer than I originally thought, I won't lie, Brendan. When I was looking at the statistics, I thought Legend had it by a lot more.
Yeah, it seems that way purely because whenever Legend races, he wins. Except for last week, though, where Thomas Main was able to take advantage of Legend picking, not exactly picking up a penalty for it. So to now, we got the second Mercedes 1-2 in Belgium in 3 seasons. If that was your only 2 times you ever saw Formula Virtual Racing, you would have thought it was just like real life. Well, real life up until 2022 or 21.
Here we go then. King is on a lap as we see 3 minutes and 5 to go. More people coming out for out laps. There'll be a lot of final runs going in for different drivers. Enzo King exits the Brooklands hairpin on towards the all-start finish straight, heading down towards a flat right-hander of Woodcut and in towards turn number 9 of Copse Corner. Downshifts midway through the corner. That's a bit of an unconventional line, but it seems to be working for King here. We'll see a middle sector split in a couple moments' time. Through through Beckett's, apologies, and then through Chapel Curve. Here's the middle sector split. We'll see it. It's a 2:03.681. He's improving by 1/10 of a second. It's not the quickest lap time of all time for Enzo King, but it's one that could get him a few spots on the grid if he puts in a good last sector here, rounding in towards Stowe Corner, in towards the Vale Chicane and Club section of the circuit. It's a circuit we could see some overtaking. We certainly could, as here comes Enzo King, rounding the final corner. It's a bit wobbly, but Enzo King does beat Tim Wentink, and he does go to 7th position on the grid. McFall just started his final run in a newly updated Red Bull livery, as Enzo King ploughs off into the gravel at turn number 1. That is his session over. Aaron McFall heading in towards Brooklands. He's just completed the hanger straight, and he's 0.003 up here. Aaron McFall would love to be on that front row in that Red Bull, replacing Kyle Albert for this evening. Oh, huge wobble for McFall, and he's abandoned it. Big wobble for Aaron McFall. Was very lucky not to DNF there, and him and Seb Milsey are going side by side through Woodcut. Aaron McFall very lucky there. Liam Houseman is setting off on an adventure, and Legend Rosenberg is building up for a big final attempt here in Silverstone.
Why, Aaron?
What's Aaron McFall done?
He's went and put himself in the wall for some reason.
Aaron McFall has put himself in the wall.
He could have went round again.
He could have went round again. That's a bit dumb, Aaron, but nevertheless, we'll see what Liam Houseman's first sector is. Aaron's out of the session, and Liam Houseman not improving in the first sector. Legend Rosenberg heads in towards turn number 1 of Abbey, in towards the turn 3, which is the first braking zone of the circuit. Just breaks after the 50-metre board and rotates the car in nicely. This could be a crucial pole lap for Legend Rosenberg. He's on pole position by quite a margin already. However, if he was to extend that gap, it would be all but secured for a race win, maybe. We will have to wait and see. It's difficult to overtake around Silverstone. Narrowly improving in the first sector.
Seb's his car off.
Seb Millsy's done. It'll be a maximum start of 11th. We'll see Houseman's middle sector. It's down. Liam Houseman is not improving. Tim Wentink has invalidated his lap. However, he has one more bite of the cherry. We'll see what Rosenberg can do through Kopp's corner. How committed is this Dutchman gonna be? Oh, very committed through there. Almost a huge slide for Legend Rosenberg. He's had a massive snap. Of course, the camera did jump off prematurely there. However, Rosenberg seems to be struggling a little bit on this final run. I suppose when you set a perfect lap, there's not much more you can do about it. Rosenberg's off. Rosenberg's invalidated. That's qualifying done for Legend Rosenberg. If someone was to produce a magical lap here in Silverstone, it certainly would be quite a feat. We'll see what Vestago Badi and Tyler Davison can do here. Davison is he's a dab hand around this Silverstone circuit. As we await and see more sector times. Borbune about 0.3 of a second up. Tim Wentink is having another go. Thomas Main is improving by 1/10 of a second. 2/10 of a second now. Here is Thomas Main in the middle sector. He's had a good middle sector through the twisty and turny Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel section. Through Stowe Corner comes Thomas Main, and we'll see where he can go. Adrian Teich has just crossed the line. It's 13th spot. But that's decent considering it's not the best lap. Through Club for Thomas Main. We'll see, can he go on the front row of the grid and beat Luke Davies? He does go on the front row of the grid and beat Luke Davies. Davies was not improving in the first sector. Vestago Badi onto the front row ahead of Thomas Main. Gobadi's back. Davies has bottled his lap. He's invalidated. Juan Hernandez 103.321 as there's an improvement there from Guillermo Messick here. Davison's not got a lap on the board. He'll start 18th. What can Juan Hernandez do in this final sector? Can he even go close to that pole lap of Legend Rosenberg? He'll give it his best go. Jake Marsh has been one to challenge Rosenberg in qualifying, the other Ferrari. What can Hernandez do? Rounding the final corner of Club, Hernandez to the line. It will only be fourth for Juan Hernandez. The exact same time as Thomas Main, but Main will get the third position spot due to setting the lap earlier in the session. Legend Rosenberg takes his 22nd Formula Virtual Racing career pole position in his second last Grand Prix as a driver. And what a margin that is by. Rosenberg is on pole in Silverstone.
Well, I think he's put a statement out. As I do believe, obviously he's got a 15-point lead coming into this. This would all, I think this would pretty much seal the championship for
Just look
him.
at that gap from second to fifth, from second to fourth, Brendan. Wow. Jake Marsh has just pointed out 5 thousandths separating, so that was oh so close. Hernandez, if he had got the throttle down a little bit earlier, he'd be in the front row of the grid. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Legend Rosenberg, the only man to break into the 26s, and he was almost in the low side of them. Is on pole position for the British Grand Prix here in Silverstone. Vestago Badi will start second ahead of Thomas Main in third. Juan Hernandez in fourth ahead of Luke Davies in fifth. The top Briton ahead of Aaron McFall in sixth. Liam Houseman will start seventh ahead of Enzo King, Tim Wentink, Cameron Rowlands, Guillermo Messaquer, Borbune, Seb Millsy, Clyde Glennon, Adrian Teiche, Matsu Mats, Kyle Davison, Tyler Davison, Leroy Van Schendel and Jake Marsh rounds off the grid. Two with the quicker Brits, starting 18th and 20th. It's not the best result in qualifying for the home faithful, but they'll be back. Brendan, who wins it?
Well, you would believe Legend would be the winner here, but usually in Britain things don't always work out how you think they would. Like, logically speaking, season...
Okie dokie. It's raining here in Silverstone.
And that could lead to play further into Legend Rosenberg's hands, unless there's maybe a little bit of chaos.
It's not an uncommon sight to see rain here in the United Kingdom, especially in the counties of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the two counties Silverstone stretches into. But is it going to be raining for the full race? That's the thing. We haven't got any reports from the drivers. Of course, we do have a formation lap in Formula Virtual Racing, as it is raining for the start of the Grand Prix. If it's rained for the whole time, I wonder. Kyle Davis in the comments. Thank you very much, Kyle. Brendan, it's the opposite. It's rain at the start and it is dry at the end of the Grand Prix. Yeah. That could make things interesting. Full wet races at Silverstone are not uncommon, and great performances are usually in them. As the formation lap gets underway here in Silverstone, everybody is on the intermediate compound of Pirelli rubber. It's the intermediate for all. Of course, Lewis Hamilton with a brilliant performance in 2008, but the better performance in Silverstone was Jackie Stewart, who lapped every single car in 1969. The best FVR performance around here belongs to Danny Hetkamper in Season 2, who beat Benjamin Bollwerk, a driver who I suppose we could say it was much better than Danny, but Danny really drove his socks off that day. Legend Rosenberg, an impressive performance as well from the back of the grid here in Season 6. And that was the race after, winning the driver's title.
Interesting now to see, particularly with like the tyre pressures, you might want a little more in the rain, but then again, if it gets to that dry period, would you then be under pressure because you could get overheating? There's a lot of high speed long corners around here where you're stressing the tyre out.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Brandon. Very good point.
I'd probably say you'd probably want to err on the side of minimum tyre pressure, because even if it's wet, you could still probably find problems if it's like given that it is supposed to dry out and it's not even that wet on the track as of now.
That's another good point. When is it going to dry out? Kyle Davis, he's already struggling in these wet conditions. Kyle Davis has gone off. Kyle, we're just going to vouch for Kyle now. It's his first race on wheel. So if you do not see a performance that we usually see from Kyle Davis, he does have an excuse. It's his first race on wheel. He asked us not to watch him too much, as he does not expect much, and I'm sure wet conditions is not something he has prepared for. We're lining up on the grid for what could be a crucial race in what's been a fascinating title battle. Rosenberg versus Main, but Gobadi is in the middle of them this time. Legend Rosenberg, if he outscores Thomas Main by 11 points today, he will sum up his third Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers title. Lining up on the grid, it is Tyler Davison, the last car on the grid for Red Bull Racing. Here we go then. 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. We go racing here in the United Kingdom. Brilliant launch from Juan Hernandez. Legend Rosenberg gets away well. Gobadi gets away even better. And into turn number 1 of Abbey. Rosenberg sent off the circuit. Gobadi takes the lead here in Silverstone. Thomas Main, is he going to go up the inside of his title rival? Couldn't quite break the later of the two. Juan Hernandez is putting himself in this one, and it looks like Aaron McFall is going to try and work a move in as well. Gobadi leads off the line here in Silverstone. There's a bit of chaos behind. It looks like Kyle Davis has been involved in something, but there's a real kerfuffle here. The two Mercedes are scrapping. Luke Davies is up to 5th with Aaron McFall in 6th, and Thomas Main is down to 4th. Juan Hernandez gaining a spot there. That's a good start for Juan Hernandez. Aaron couldn't quite keep it in here. Down the grid, it looks like Guillermo Messiquer has gone round in his Alfa Romeo. It's a poor start for Guillermo, and he's all the way down below. Tyler Davison's already gained 8 spots. He's gone round the outside of the Welshman Cameron Rowlands, and look at this, Gobadi's wide. Rosenberg is through in Kopp's corner, side by side into Maggots and Beckett. Rosenberg leads on lap 1 as here is the Gobadi. Is he going to try keep it on the inside? This will be a fierce scrap down the hangar straight here for these two. Gobadi wants to win in Formula Virtual Racing after such a long absence. Does he have the straight line speed on the championship leader? Tyler Davison's a bit wobbly at the back. Aaron McFall was looking for a move in the Mercedes as well, as Davison is going to try go around the outside of Seb Millsy through Stowe Corner. Two old friends turned enemies, I suppose we could say, is a bit of a story there. As Davison, he's going to go from the outside on Milty, in towards the Bale chicane. Seb tries to hang it up the inside. Tyler Davison clean round the outside. That's a great move from the Northern Britain. And Tyler Davison now up to 9th.
Oh, no.
Oh, Cameron Rowlands. Cameron is in the gravel, and that's a poor start for Cameron Rowlands. And he's picked up a 10-second penalty. Thomas Main and Juan Hernandez battling here. Main up the inside of Hernandez. Hernandez is a fierce scrapper on the best of his day, and he's going to keep it up the inside. This could get Luke Davies involved in this one, and Thomas Main is going to be side by side with his teammate almost here down the Wellington Straight on the second lap. Rosenberg now leads by 7/10 of a second. Rosenberg's actually going to run away with it here. Liam Houseman's facing the wrong way in the exit of the loop. And look at this, now McFall and Luke Davies scrapping. There's action all over the place. McFall's going to try hook one round the outside of... he's almost got it done. Now McFall had a snap or a bit of contact maybe, but Davies keeps the position.
It looked like a snap there to me. Just trying to hang it round, but then the car just...
look at this first scrap. Tim Wenting and Guillermo Messiquer. Is Messiquer going to feed one up the inside? No, he isn't. I thought he was going to. And Guillermo Messiquer was not able to make a move stick there. Kyle, I'm not reading out that comment, but I'm going to just say Kyle Albert is hoping for a bit of a Tyler Davison remontada here in the field. He's currently up to 8th spot. He's your second biggest gainer, along with Jake Marsh. He's going to get another spot here and become your biggest gainer. It's 11 spots in 2 laps for Tyler Davison, who's up to 7th and past Enzo King. Tyler is a demon in the intermediate conditions, so do keep an eye on the Red Bull there. It's not been the best of season just because of attendance, really, but that's not Tyler's fault at all. He's a working man nowadays. But Davison wants a win this season. He wants to taste the champagne once again here in Silverstone. Gap is now over a second between Rosenberg and Gobadi for the lead. It's 2 between Hernandez and Gobadi. Hernandez is holding up these 2 Mercedes quite substantially here. The gap is now 2 seconds. Marsh and Mills. Mills is keeping it up the inside. Marsh gonna try clean round the outside through the loop. Oh, what a move by Jake Marsh this could be if he can hold it. Needs to be oh so careful because Seb Mills could have a snap at any point. Some fantastic camera angles once again from Codemasters. Mills is gonna try and keep it up the inside. Looks like Matsu Mats is keeping this one here as well, as McFall and Davies are having a battle here as well. But Marsh, it's a 3 wide scrap. We're 3 wide here into Brooklyn's corner. Jake Marsh takes it side by side here, possibly between Luke Davies and Aaron McFall. Davies tries to hold it around the outside through Cobb's corner. Oh, they haven't, have they? Aaron McFall up the inside through Cobb's corner. One of the most difficult corners to overtake on in the F1 calendar, and Aaron McFall has done it quite beautifully here in Silverstone. Aaron McFall's up to 5th.
A Red Bull Mercedes through Cops and Silverstone.
Davies is fighting back. Luke Davies is fighting back. He's going to try go around the outside. Oh, to swap to the inside. Davies up the inside. Oh, it's not worked out here, but he runs McFall wide. And Luke Davies, what can he do possibly in towards the Vale chicane? Davies has the traction on Aaron McFall into the Vale chicane. He's going to try do what his friend Tyler Davison did on a car. McFall's pushed off the circuit, and Luke Davies is through. It's a bit scrappy. It's a bit aggressive, but it's a beautiful move by Luke Davies, who was not letting that McFall move into Cobb's corner be the note on our minds. And Luke Davies now is going to have to catch back up to his teammate Thomas Main, who is struggling behind Juan Hernandez. And Rosenberg will be scoring 25 or 26
McFall down
points.
the inside.
McFall down the inside. McFall down the inside. It's first retirement of the race. It's the Williams of Glennon who's retired in the pits here in Silverstone.
Davison might have a...
Tyler Davison's going to look for this one. Tyler Davison is going... He's going to try and get past the Red Bull, and then he's 2 Mercedes to dispatch. But Davison's not doing too shabby here in this Grand Prix. He's up 11 positions. Everybody's still on the intermediate compound of tyres, as Cameron Rowlands has a 13-second time penalty. I don't think he's going to be in first come the end of this race anyways, whether unless we see a Lance Stroll Germany 2019-esque strategy. McFall runs wide. He's probably picked up a warning for that through Cop's corner. But it gives a bit of a gap between himself and Tyler Davison. Matsu Mats is off. Matsu Mats is off here, and Matsu Mats becomes the second AlphaTauri to run into troubles so far in the British Grand Prix. Thomas Main still not able to find a way past Juan Hernandez, and we're starting to run into a bit of a train here, Brendan. It's not the first time you've seen a train around Silverstone and league racing. It's certainly a common feature. It's not the easiest track to overtake on, unless you have a bucket load of ERS. Juan Hernandez just staying ahead as Jake Marsh and Enzo King. King trying to keep it up the inside, and Jake gets shoved off the circuit. Everybody's taken after Checo Perez, and Jake Marsh goes around the outside of Club. That's a fantastic move. Is Enzo going to try find it back? We'll have to wait and see. Is he going to run one up the inside in towards turn number 3 through farm of 2? No, he's not close enough. No way is he close enough. Jake has actually got a 5-second time penalty for that manoeuvre. Seb Mills runs one up the inside of Enzo King. Seb Mills is going for points. This is the battle for points. And now side by side, we're on board with Wentink. Look at Mills up the inside through the loop. Oh, it's a great move. Look at Wentink. He's going to get the run on the both of them. Tim Wentink makes it 3 wide. Can Tim Wentink get the job done? Doesn't get past King, or does he? Keeps it up the inside of Enzo King. Has Tim Wentink pulled off one of the moves of the season here in Silverstone? Can he? Oh, bit of contact with King, but it allows Wentink through, and Tim Wentink has gone from 11th to 9th in unbelievable circumstances here in the British Grand Prix. What a move from Tim Wentink that truly was. He had the bravery to run it up the inside in towards Brooklands, and then held it up around the outside, apologies, through Luffield. Great move, great battling so far in this one, and Thomas Main finally has the launch on Juan Hernandez. Oh, no. Can he hold one round the outside? Juan seems to be burning a bit of battery here, and he's just squeezed Main. Main trying to go the long way to possibly save a championship. Round Stoke Corner, that becomes the outside for the Vale chicane. The Mercedes is being pushed all the way, and Hernandez doesn't leave him enough room to go for a manoeuvre. It leaves him enough room for it to be legal. As Seb Mills has run into a bit of trouble. Seb Mills has gone round.
Oh dear. Not great for Seb. He was up for some points there. I'd say Juan Hernandez has been doing well, the right thing, and arguably one of the Legend's biggest rivals here in Formula Virtual Racing. Maybe handing him the championship here today with this defending.
Juan's everyone's rival, realistically.
Well, according to Lewis McWilliam, yes.
Oh, McFall! Aaron McFall in the gravel! Aaron McFall has spun through the loop to the arena corner, exactly, to name it. That's turn 6. Aaron McFall has ended in the gravel, and that allows Davison through. Luke Davies seems to be the quicker driver of the two Mercedes, as the rain is certainly easing here, Brendan. Will we see some slick tyres soon enough?
I think for some people, they're probably willing to take a gamble.
Maybe somebody at the back might look for it. Leo Vinchendo's trying to get past McFall now, since McFall's spin. These two Mercedes are really being held up here. They don't have the pace to overtake. Juan Hernandez is defending this very, very well. Juan has made a bit of a mistake there, and Thomas Main might look to try and get past the Spaniard, but Main needs to do something that Hernandez does not expect, because Hernandez will defend all day long. Moves just before the corner, just before the braking zone. That's legal. Juan Hernandez, one of the better defenders in Formula Virtual Racing. Main. Oh, it's a big send from Thomas Main up the inside into the Vale chicane, and it's got to be something unconventional. Hernandez has pushed Main wide. Is Davies going to try run it through? Hernandez keeps P3. Main goes off the circuit. Davies is just not able to capitalise on his teammate here and Juan Hernandez, and we stay single file through Abbey Corner. Juan Hernandez is being as aggressive as Main is. Big send from Thomas Main up the inside into turn 3. Hernandez goes off the track. Hernandez comes back on in very aggressive fashion, and Hernandez is doing everything possible to stay on the podium here in Silverstone. Thomas Main is starting to lose his control here. He's starting to lose his patience, and Thomas Main is getting really aggressive here in Silverstone, but he's gotta be. That's the only way you're gonna overtake an aggressive man. Main tries to hold it round the outside through Brooklands. Main tries to hold it round the outside through Brooklands and into Luffield. He has the inside, and Juan Hernandez defensive manoeuvres are unfortunately finally beaten by the tricky Belgian. Can Hernandez make it two? Oh, he's making it two out into Copse corner, almost in the old pit wall. Hernandez up the inside into Copse. Main is going to run wide. This is an unbelievable battle between Spain and Belgium, between Main and Hernandez, and the Ferrari of Juan Hernandez is reminiscent of another red thing in Britain, a London bus. Thomas Main through Chapel Curve, and now is another run on Hernandez, but Hernandez just seems to be always in the correct positions here. He just always seems to be in the right spots. Main made on the brakes. Hernandez has opted for braking earlier, but this time he doesn't brake early enough for a switchback. Is that Thomas Main finally through? Of course it isn't. Hernandez is just as aggressive. Late on the brakes in towards the Vale chicane. Main on the inside. Hernandez on the outside. Once again, some fantastic camera angles from Codemasters. And Juan Hernandez and Thomas Main are getting oh so scrappy here in Silverstone. We've been too wide for almost a lap. How is Juan Hernandez ahead? Main is round.
Through both Luke Davies and all that.
Thomas Main's championship has flashed before his eyes. Is it over? Is that it finally over? Davison's found himself in P3. Luke Davies is up the inside. This battle continues. It's just two different cars. One's a different colour. One's the exact same as Davison. Oh, they've both made contact. They've both gone off the circuit. The two Ferraris have gone through in uniformed fashion. Tim Wenting is up to 5th. It's all falling apart. Hernandez and Wenting. The race is falling apart in Silverstone. The gap is 11 seconds between Marsh and Gobadi, and Tim Wenting is now up to 5th position. Juan Hernandez making contact. Everybody has lost their control in Silverstone, and everybody is paying a steep price for it. Tim Wenting goes off the circuit at Cops Corner. Adrian Tice is up to 9th. King, side by side through Cops. There's battles all over the field. Where are we meant to look? Because everybody is just gunning for it. This is what Formula Virtual Racing brings to the table. Everybody pushing to try and get a result.
I'm going to say, Thomas usually a very calm man. I would say he's not going to be so calm now, especially as he sees a certain red Ferrari.
Yeah, I don't know what Thomas Main was doing. Thomas Main Thomas Main tried to play an aggressive game. Nobody gets more aggressive than Juan Hernandez, and I think Juan was within his rights. Adrian Tice up the inside. Oh, Adrian Tice, that was a bold one. Up the inside of Enzo King. King now pushing him off the circuit. Cameron Rowlands. There just seems to be 3 cars battling through Club every single lap here in Formula Virtual Racing. Tice on the outside through Abbey. King on the inside. Somehow the Alpine and the Aston Martin don't make contact, just like we saw Main and Hernandez do it on the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Adrian Tice. Oh, it's 3 wide. Cameron Rowlands dives through both of them. Liam Hesman. Brendan, there's cars everywhere. There is cars everywhere. Borbune getting involved in this one. There is literally cars inside each other through the arena corner. And Cameron Rowlands 9th, Houseman 10th, Bune 11th, King 12th, Adrian Tice 13th, Mills 14th. Is Taisha gonna try round it round the outside? Taisha was battling for 9th. He's now battling the same man for 12th. Literally about 4 corners later, Mills is now up his inside and the Williams and Alpine are side by side. This is unbelievable battling here. I'm not sure the drivers are enjoying it too much. Let's just look at Mills hunting for a move. Oh, King's pushed him off the circuit. Tice up the inside in towards Cops Corner. Who is Mills round? Seb Mills round. I've no idea how it was about 4 of them round, but Seb Mills has gone round here in this race. Thomas Main. Oh, ding ding. It is the sequel to what could be a championship deciding battle. Juan has finished runner-up twice in Formula Virtual Racing. He is killing the runner-up here in Formula Virtual Racing. Not literally killing him, he's just killing his hopes by being a very, very, very nippy defender. Here's Thomas Main. Oh, Tim Wenting! Tim Wenting has spun round. Thomas Main now scoring 10 points, I believe, here. Rosenberg, 25. Rosenberg is the champion as of now.
Yeah, Rosenberg is champion. Realistically, Thomas Main needs 16 points to keep this alive. And
realistically, Thomas Main needs to win the race if he wants a chance to win it in Singapore, Brendan. I think that's...
but just to keep it alive, technically speaking.
Gobadi's done very well to keep so close with Rosenberg. Nobody's did that this season. Here comes Thomas Main. Thomas has calmed down. The Belgian has remembered. And he's a very good driver, and he doesn't need to do reckless things, because he didn't go for a dive, which he would have went for a couple laps previous, into Luffield. We're on lap 10 out of 26. Finally, things have calmed down here in Silverstone. No, here comes Adrian Tice on Borbune. He's trying around the outside, but he's not going to get that one done. Borbune is now 11th spot here in the British Grand Prix. Tice is 12th. Thomas Main, definitely quicker than Hernandez. Juan Hernandez is
speed, though. He must be running a dry setup.
Yeah, Hernandez is probably running a dry setup here because Hernandez does have good straight line speed. Just look, the Ferrari's going on the straight. Thomas Main has little to no battery. And how's he going to play his cards here? Rosenberg just decides to put in the fastest lap for his own sake. Thomas Main needs to go around the outside of Juan Hernandez for his own sake. It's much cleaner this time from the pair, but there's still a bit of wheel banging, still a bit of argy-bargy, and Thomas Main is up the inside in towards the Vale chicane. Hernandez keeps the car in, and Hernandez once again defends from Thomas Main. They're side by side when they made contact on this straight. They're not side by side this time, and just like before, it was the battle for P3. It's the battle for P4 now. Davies is right behind them, as Luke Davies actually and Tyler Davison were both through, and Davison spun and collected them both. Tyler did pit, Main up the inside in towards turn 3. Can he get the job done? No. Hernandez just always seems to have enough corner speed to carry it around the outside. What a battle we're having here in Silverstone between Main and Hernandez. Thomas Main, you can really tell he's fighting for a championship. Juan Hernandez is just fighting for his Ferrari outfit's sake, as there is a lot of rumours Hernandez won't be continuing with the team for next season. Of course, nothing confirmed, as there's a new management structure going into place at the FVR Ferrari outfit. But current Ferrari boss, Khalil Bamba, expected to jump ship as well as...
Well, is jumping ship.
Well, yes, he is, but that's not confirmed yet, Brendan.
It was.
No, it was not. No, it was not. It's not been officially confirmed. As Tyler Davison sets the fast lap. Both Red Bulls actually pitting for new intermediate compounded tyres, so they obviously see something in that. Thomas Main, no. Still stuck behind Hernandez, and I think he's getting a little bit sick of that Velas sponsorship on the back of the Scuderia Ferrari.
Would it be worth it to just switch to Mercedes? Because Luke probably has a little more resources to try pass.
I do feel bad for Luke, because he's just been planted behind his teammate, but I know for championship's sake, Main is the one who really needs to make the move. Is he going to make it here? Hernandez, he is going to make it here, and this is the aggression once again from Thomas Main. He goes well wide, but Main has just gone and possibly given Hernandez a taste of his own medicine. He hasn't. He has not. Luke Davies is really being held up here by his teammate, and Hernandez battling. Look, this clearly isn't working for Mercedes. Davies should get a chance at this one, because this clearly is not working. Of course, I understand why they're playing the game. I understand Thomas Main is fighting for the championship, but Luke Davies could get past Hernandez and then maybe shove him wide through a corner and allow Main through as well.
And at this point, his main focus just gone.
Thomas Main! Oh, Thomas Main! Oh my goodness me! It is a swap for Mercedes. It's not the one they expected. Thomas Main with a huge catch. A huge catch to keep his championship hopes alive. Because if he spun there, Brendan, I think that would have been it done and dusted. But yeah, Thomas Main has kept it alive there with a huge snap, but a huge save. And now Davies can attack Hernandez. We'll see what Luke Davies can do.
Interesting whether he'll be... We'll now find out if Luke Davies has properly got the pace here to challenge Juan Hernandez, or if he was just benefiting from these two fighting so much.
Kyle Albert, Red Bull driver, of course, not here today, but he's a very knowledgeable man, and he's just said this is a clinic in defending from Juan Hernandez. Hernandez is schooling these two Mercedes on how to defend, but what's Davies' attempt of it? Is he going to go the outside, or is he going to go the inside? He's going to go the inside, switch down the inside. Luke Davies is tried this move once before. Is Davies going to be more successful than his teammate? Davies is on the outside. Davies is still getting argy-bargy with Juan Hernandez. Davies on the inside. Is he going to get this move done on his first try? He absolutely is! And maybe Luke Davies is the one leading this Mercedes challenge, because Davies has got it done on his first try. Juan Hernandez has been left for dust. Whether Hernandez can still get this job redone on Luke Davies is another question, and he sat behind. And I gotta hand it to Luke Davies. He did what his teammate couldn't, and Luke Davies is now the lead car in this pack. However, the man in the championship is the other Mercedes. That's Thomas Main, who's still stuck behind Hernandez. No, he isn't! It's the first mistake from Hernandez! Thomas Main is going to be laughing at the Ferrari as he passes him down the Wellington Straight, because the first mistake from Hernandez has resulted in him losing 2 positions, and Hernandez drops to 7th. Well, I gotta say, what an effort to keep his car in the right position. It is now Luke Davies 4th, Thomas Main 5th, Tim Wenting 6th, Juan Hernandez 7th. Legend Rosenberg still leads the race as we get through the halfway point here in this Grand Prix, with dry weather still expected.
Yeah, I suppose Juan having to properly attack for the first time probably just did push a little too much, because sometimes it's easier to defend than attack, because you can nearly set it the pace yourself. Well, you have to see now if he's able to attack Tim Wenting.
We'll also see how the two Mercedes pace actually is, because they've been stuck behind that Scuderia Ferrari car for God knows how long.
Do you think the Mercedes are now going to switch, knowing that, well,
I think
no
I think they might just leave it how it is. But whether they switch or not, they're still not in.
The question is, Jake Marsh's penalty, if they start closing up into that, they might just have a chance.
What about the tyres? I imagine Legend is going for a no-stop. He's still only 3/10 off his personal best. Legend's definitely going for a no-stop. He wants to wrap up this championship. We've not got a safety car here yet in Silverstone, so that's another big thing. Is Matsu... Oh no, never mind. I may have just jinxed it. No, Matsu somehow stays in the race. Has he kept his front wing? Oh, he's kept his front wing here. That's a bit peculiar. He's hit the wall very, very heavily. We might just have a quick check of the settings here on stream, folks. As we await and see. Oh, Brendan's going to check them. His damage on, because he's just hit the wall very, very heavily.
Assume lobby options.
Be in simulation settings, I believe.
Yeah, simulation, yeah. Simulation, car damage reduced, cam damage rate reduced.
Oh yeah, that's correct, so damage is on. Matsu has just done a bit of a masterclass, and he's put steel in that front wing of the AlphaTauri. Explains probably why he's in 15th, but at least he's still in the race, as Davies is the quicker of the Mercedes. They're both hitting PBs for the first time in this Grand Prix, but Luke Davies is certainly the one stretching his legs now. As Brendan, are we going to see dry conditions? Because it doesn't look like it for the time being.
Well, if it's a little late, you could.
Oh, I'd love it to be a bit. I'd love it to be a little late. I really would. It would spice this one up well and truly.
I'd say Legend Rosenberg. He's probably having time
of
his life here.
Is Mezaguer gonna go? No, he's not gonna go around the inside. Around the outside of Enzo King. Damage is definitely. Oh yeah, damage is on because I saw Tyler lose his front wing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, thanks Khalil for pointing that one out. Yellow flags. It is Matsu who's gone round, and I think he might have damaged this time, Brendan, because he's gone round and he's into the pit lane.
He could be a retirement here. He looks like his wing's structurally intact.
Looks like it. That gives Davison another position, and Davison, he's on the best tyres apart from McFall here. Apart from Cameron Rowlands in the field, and yeah, that's Matsu out of the Grand Prix. So, will we get a safety car? That's the question. There's not many days in Formula Virtual Racing where you've 20 cars in a field and not one singular safety car, or VSC. So we're going to have to wait and see how this one plays out. Closest battle is the two Mercedes, but they're not a battle, of course. Closest battle on the field is Guillermo Mezaguer and Enzo King.
Well, and there's your fastest lap.
Yeah, he's not slowing down anytime soon, is he?
No.
All over the back of King here. Is this going to be a move for the Alfa Romeo? Only checked in the race very late, so he was a late stand-in for that Alfa Romeo team, replacing Bulgarian Theodore Marinov. Can he get the job done? No, he's just a bit wide. Tim Wenting in the pits here, Brendan. Okay, is that an indication of maybe some tyres are falling off? Or the track is getting dry?
The track's... well, let's see.
Because Legend Rosenberg did set the fastest lap, which normally means the track is getting that little bit more grippier.
Well, yes, that would be true, but then again, Legend Rosenberg is able to... could be just doing Legend Rosenberg things.
No, it's Inters for Wenting. Yeah, it's Inters for Wenting. He doesn't feel it's dry tyres yet. Adrian Teisch running 7th. Adrian Teisch, running 7th, by the way. Big shout out, Adrian. Running very well. As Tim Wenting is going to saunter out of the bits behind Leroy Vinchendel. It's going to be in front of Aaron McFall. But it's going to be very close because, of course, you've got to get those tyres up to temperature. That's not an easy feat. In the wet conditions as it stands now, Rosenberg, would he still be champion? No, would he? Well, I imagine the two Mercedes will swap, and as it stands, it would be Thomas Main on the podium with Gobardi and Rosenberg. That would be 25 points, 26 points from Rosenberg, and it would be 15 for Main.
Well, yeah,
which would be enough. No, it wouldn't. It would be the championship.
Well, then let me think. You're saying if
It'd be 26 minus 15, which is 11, and that's what he needs to head scoring by.
Well, yeah, that will be right.
Thomas Main not doing half as nearly enough here. Rosenberg in a great position. But we have seen races fall apart very recently, as recently as last week, where Rosenberg was in a comfortable position to win and didn't. Of course, it was Lewis McWilliam who was attacking him that day. It was Rosenberg with some aggressive defending. Speaking of defending, poor Bune defending from Adrian Daisha. He's in the pits. Adrian in the pits here. So are the tyres starting to fall off, Brendan? Because I don't see any indication from our front runners that they are.
Well, this could be a gamble. Honestly, maybe some drivers are feeling a little more than others. Honestly, like the Legend invested, they haven't really been battling aside from lap 1.
No, Legend and Investa haven't been battling aside from lap 1.
Yeah. Oh, soft for Adrian.
Oh, here we go. Adrian Taisha is making this one very interesting for myself and Brendan. Adrian has gone for the soft compound tyres. Keep an eye on Adrian, because if Adrian starts setting some good sector times here, everybody else is going to go for a set of the slicks. He'll come out in last, but keep an eye on that gap to Tyler Davison. That's a very good indication, actually, because Tyler would be quicker if they were both in even circumstances. Oh, it definitely just looks too wet here, Brendan. But, well, we'll wait and see. I'll pleasantly be surprised. As Khalil has pointed out, Jake got pushed off the track against the scrap with Enzo, so they're going to protest the 5 seconds.
Oh,
really, Thomas Main, he needs to finish in front of Legend in this one if he just wants any hope of survival, but as it stands now, he'll finish behind.
Yeah, because it clearly looks like Legend isn't really slowing down here, and he's got the gap to make whatever choice he wants with his tires.
Taisha's really struggling. Adrian Taisha's really struggling, and he might have thrown away a chance at some good points with a gamble for Alpine.
I think it is going to be 6 in a few laps, though.
He's gaining on the straights, mind you, despite poor exits. We might get slicks in a few laps' time. Guillermo Meseguer. Oh, Guillermo Meseguer's going to venture, and Tim Wenting is going to try go around the outside of Enzo King. Bit of contact between the two. Oh, King's locked up. Enzo King's really locked up. Tim Wenting locked up as well. The camera angles once again awful from Codemasters, and Guillermo Meseguer is going to have to sit behind King. Wenting gets the job done despite King locking up.
Cameron all in.
Oh wow. Wow, here we go. Maybe it is time for the slick tyres. It's mediums for Aaron McFall. We'll see what Houseman, Rowlands and Davison go for.
Soft for
Rowlands. And mediums for Houseman. Legend's in. Legend Rosenberg is into the pit lane. What's Avestigo Badi going to do?
Oh, let's see. Where is he angling towards?
Into the pits goes Gobadi, apologies. I imagine Jake Marsh will follow suit, and what will the two Mercedes do? Will they try a gamble?
Well, one of them may have to, because
they're running oh so close on the circuit. Thomas Main would be the one who loses out, and Main has stayed out. The Mercedes has nothing to lose here in Silverstone, but it's almost stopped raining. There's still a slight bit of drizzle. Legend Rosenberg.
That penalty's going to be served from Ferrari. That means they can't protest.
Yeah, no protest for Ferrari. Thomas Main and Legend Rosenberg could be even on track. There's Rosenberg. Here's Main on the intermediate tyres. No, he doesn't go down the inside of Rosenberg. He's just going to hope Rosenberg does not have the tyres up to temperature. This is a very confusing battle for these guys. These are the two championship protagonists, but one is on the fresher tyres, which seem to be quicker. Here comes Thomas Main. Look him in the slipstream. Fastest lap for the race goes to Tim Wenting on the intermediate compounded tyres. Rosenberg stays ahead. Rosenberg might just have this one. Thomas Main may have lost out with a gamble he kind of had to take. Yellow flag, Jake Marsh. Yellow flag, Jake Marsh has gone off on pit lane exit. Ferrari have had a howler, and Jake Marsh has gone off on pit lane exit. This battle, side by side through Cop's corner almost. Rosenberg just seems to be struggling on getting these tyres up to temperature, but Thomas Main's going to be really struggling now because the track, it's almost bone dry here, Brendan. It has dried really quickly. I think the only way Thomas Main gets back in this one is if a safety car comes out. Yellow flag for Liam Houseman, and it's not a DNF. through the final corner. He's just gone off, and Tyler Davison is going to take the spot from Liam Houseman here. So Liam Houseman picking up the wooden spoon, if you want to call it, here in Silverstone. Thomas Main, he's got to box this lap surely. No, he doesn't. Thomas Main stays out. Thomas Main is just hoping there is not enough laps left for Vestigo Badi to catch 12.4 seconds. You know what? This is a respectable gamble for Thomas Main. He's doing everything possible to keep his title hopes alive into the season finale in Marina Bay.
The thing is, at what point do them inters just become undrivable?
Very soon, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
but Gobadi's not gaining either, Brendan. He's not gaining.
Wentig's in, and he's picked up a 5.
He's picked up a 5. He was on the Inter, so he obviously feels the gamble's not worth it. Guillermo Messaguer and Leroy Vincendel also in the pits. Both Ferraris got to pick up 3 positions here. Luke Davies will pick up a spot as well. He'll go to 4th. And that'll be, will it be a spot for Borbune? Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. But Marsh and Hernandez both running in uniform here out of the Ferraris. And Jake Marsh now up to 5th. Juan Hernandez 6th. Oh, Marsh picked up another penalty. Marsh has picked up another 3. That's now 6 seconds for Jake Marsh. Gap at the front is now over a second. No DRS yet, though. I haven't got a notification. We might have it, but I haven't got that notification yet.
Let's see here. I suppose well, Hernandez doesn't have it, so...
Fastest lap of the race goes to Cameron Rowlands on the soft compound tyres. I imagine Rosenberg's kind of set at this lap because he's gained about 2 seconds. Tyler Davison fastest lap. Yeah, we're going to play a little bit of past the fastest lap as side by side for the 2 Hasses. Borbune's gone clean around the outside of Wenting on fresh softs. Here comes Adrian Teisch. Just look at that gamble paid out for Adrian Teisch. He's now battling for 7th position in this race, so he's got 2 spots from it. Fair play, Adrian. Adrian's gone up the inside of Tim Wenting as Thomas Main is into the pits. Brendan, the gamble's over. The gamble is over. Is that also the championship over?
The question is, I think he'll get out ahead of these Ferraris purely because Jake Marsh didn't really
DRS enabled. It's definitely dry conditions. A safety car would change this one drastically. Whether we get a safety car, it's out of our control. We've had late safety cars in Silverstone before.
This might not have worked out too badly for Thomas Main.
Is Thomas Main going to get out in front of his teammate Luke Davies?
I
don't think so. I think Davies might have him. Oh, Jake Marsh round! Oh, Jake Marsh has spun it! Out of club, he's reset the tracks. It'll be another 5 seconds. The 2 Hasses are scrapping. Wenting up the inside of Bune. Adrian Teisch and Seb Millsy's gone round as well. Piles on the brakes. There's lots of runoff here in Silverstone. Thomas Main's come out of the pits ahead of the 2 Ferraris.
Look at this.
Look at this battle here. Look at this. Adrian Teisch up the inside of Borbune. This is a real battle of OGs. Borbune and Adrian Teisch scrapping away here. Teisch, his tyres are going to be feeling pretty nasty towards the end of the race because they will be pretty used no matter what the weather conditions are. Tyres still wear as Leroy Vincendel picks up a 3-second time penalty. It's Leroy Vincendel. Is he going to go down the inside of Seth Millsy into turn 3? He is. Tyler Davison setting fastest laps of the race, left, right and centre. It's a 1:32.074 for Davison, and he'll still pick up a point for that even though he finished 16th. That is the rules in FVR.
Well,
Brendan, Hernandez and Main are going to battle again.
And now the shoes on the other foot here. Hernandez is the one with all the pace, and the conditions favour him a little more this time. Overtaking will be encouraged with DRS, so the power of the... well, he's using it.
Here he goes. He's going to go around the outside of Thomas Main in towards Stowe Corner, and this is a battle that's gone on all race, but Hernandez goes clean around the outside. Have that, says Juan Hernandez on Thomas Main. Main is down to scoring 10 points. Rosenberg is scoring 25. That is a gap of 15, and on lap 22 out of 26 here in Silverstone, Legend Rosenberg is on course to seal his 3rd driver's title. Yellow flag, Leroy Vincendel, not a retirement, just off. Oh, he's left the session.
Oh, well, alright then. Moving on.
Hey, Brendan, a little update for you in the chat. Kyle said Barcelona are drawing 0-0.
I can't even see anything back nowadays.
Oh, Cameron Rowlands off the track. We're getting a lot of mistakes. We're not getting any DNFs, and Thomas Main he's saying every prayer possible. Thomas is quite religious, so he's saying every prayer possible for a late safety car here in this one. You know, if there was a late safety car in this one, I'd fancy Hernandez, because he is flying.
Yeah, well, looks Hernandez probably had to set up for the dry, probably wishing it had come a few laps earlier.
Yeah, I think if the rain stopped a few laps earlier, this would be a different ball game. It is Aaron McFall who's off. Legend sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix to take another Formula Virtual Racing World Championship point, and Aaron McFall has gone off and down to 16. It's been a terrible race for Red Bull, and it could have been good. Davison, of course, not getting his full qualifying session in didn't help, but it's really been a horrible race. Davison made that great race start, but made a mistake and took Davies with him. And now Thomas Main starting to gain that little bit more on Hernandez. He's keeping with the DRS. Rosenberg leads by 15.2 seconds. Hernandez takes the point off Rosenberg. Hernandez is helping Main and Rosenberg in this one. Hernandez just loves being involved. As Jake Marsh, that's the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:32.14. I think that's only going to keep getting lower towards the end of the Grand Prix. Brendan, last lap for a safety car. It's now or never for Thomas Main's championship.
Yep, and even then, I'd want you doubt it.
Yeah, it's
don't see where
it's squeaky bum time for Thomas Main. He hasn't done enough. He's had a horrible race, really, from his perspective. It's not been nearly as elegant as he would have liked it to be. And on lap 23 out of 26, Rosenberg is in the final sector, and his championship rival is about to head through Copse Corner in the middle of the middle sector.
Yeah, it's
Hernandez runs wide, actually, so Main might have another chance for P4, but it still wouldn't be enough. There's another point for Rosenberg. It's nowhere near enough. Thomas Main.
They're going to have to engineer something here. Simple as.
Brendan, are you suggesting that you think Luke Davies should run off the track and hit a wall here? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I mean,
I know.
If someone's name was capable of passing one and that Luke Davies would need to play the Sergio Perez or Valtteri Bottas role, and
yeah, but I think Davies needs to back up Hernandez, try get Main past, and then let Main through.
That won't work. It'll only help Hernandez with DRS.
It will only help Hernandez, but if Davies could put on a defensive clinic like we saw from Hernandez. Messakier has passed Taishit. There's yellow flag for Liam Houseman and Aaron McFall, actually, so there's been contact there in the middle sector. Davison is trying around the outside of Seb Millsy. Thought the Red Bull went round, he's trying to switch back. Seb Millsy's gone round though. Oh, Seb Millsy says spinning into the wall. Front wing gone for Seb Mills. Any chance of points gone for Seb Mills as well. Car's not out of the race as Cameron Rowlands enters the pit lane. That was very close for Davison almost being out of the race as well. He's a very, very lucky bunny.
One lap earlier, and that might have got us something.
Yeah, one lap, maybe.
Avesta's
gone off-roading. He's purple in the middle sector. I wonder why. He is taking the WRC line through that corner.
That's fast enough for Legend. Oh, that's only going to compound the pain for Thomas Main.
Thomas needs to do something. Thomas needs to make like 3 positions here. Avesta Gabadi takes a point off Rosenberg. I suppose it numbs the pain a little bit, but there'll be absolutely no difference.
Here, to be honest. He's getting closer.
He's getting closer, but I think he's just overdriving that Mercedes. 2 laps to go. Hernandez actually runs very wide on the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight. Thomas Main needs to become the best version of himself if he wants to do anything here. It would be the 3rd time Rosenberg wins the championship. It would be the 3rd time he wraps it up with a round to go. The only time Rosenberg had a championship finale had a championship battle go to the finale was season 4. He lost it to McWilliam.
Yeah, that was the
Brendan,
first championship.
If Thomas gets past Juan and Luke Davies lets him through, despite Legend not having the fastest lap, he would keep it alive. Luke Davies needs to become the ultimate wingman here. Luke Davies
needs to happen.
Luke Davies is the saving grace for Thomas Main. Thomas needs to finish on the podium at least. And yellow flag. Jake Marsh has gone round. Rosenberg sets the fastest lap. Onto the final lap of the Grand Prix. It's all to play for. This all is down to what Thomas Main can do on the man who has made it oh so difficult for him in Silverstone. The gap is coming down. We're going to get ERS on screen for you now, folks. That could be a big part. It's little to nothing for both. Davies is starting to be clawed in by Hernandez. Final lap of the British Grand Prix, and everything is still wide open. Everything can happen. Somebody needs to take that fastest lap off Legend Rosenberg. Otherwise, anything Main does won't make a difference. We'll get fastest lap up on screen for you now, folks.
There are two people on brand new soft, so you
Cameron Rowlands and Seb Millsy. Liam Houseman, Aaron McFall, side by side into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. We'd love to stick with it. It's a great scrap, but we got to stick with the more important one here, unfortunately, folks.
Davies arguably pulling away at this point.
Davies is arguably pulling away. Main is not able to make a move.
Job here.
Avesta hasn't. No, Legend got it in the last lap.
High speed.
Juan Hernandez pushing everything out of that Ferrari. Legend Rosenberg is coming around Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel to lap the man in 10th position. Adrian Taisha. Oh no, he's not, never mind, it's the other Alpine. As Legend Rosenberg rounds the final corner, Legend Rosenberg coasts across the line to win in Silverstone. Is it a championship win for Legend Rosenberg? It all matters on two things: whether somebody can go purple and whether Thomas Main can get past Hernandez on the 770-metre hanger straight. No chance whatsoever. Juan Hernandez has it in the tank. Juan Hernandez has been so influential in championship battles. Main needs to run it up the inside in towards this corner. Main has sent it up the inside of Juan Hernandez. Main has actually got it done. Davies needs to let Main through. He's not going to do it. Davies crosses the line. Legend Rosenberg is a triple world champion in Formula Virtual Racing. The McLaren man ends such an illustrious career with a championship. Main got the move done. His teammate not letting him through has possibly costed him, but I don't think anyone's taken the fastest lap either. No, Davison's off. Nobody would have taken the fastest lap anyways.
No way.
So Rosenberg would have had it. Legend Rosenberg is the triple champion. Legend Rosenberg wins in Silverstone by almost 20 seconds. And Legend Rosenberg once again proving why he is the greatest of all time.
Yep. Three of the best, you must say. And, well, you just see now, I think McLaren's around where Legend is now, so we're just going to wait a little for these Red Bulls to finish off.
Yeah, it's been a horrible race for Red Bull. Davison bins it across the line because why not? Aaron McFall is doing a bit of weaving.
But I would say Thomas Main would be furious, a bit annoyed with Juan Hernandez, because he probably, well, unintentionally per se, has cost Thomas Main any chance of keeping within that championship fight.
Juan, how does he get involved in everything? He always gets involved.
Well, you don't know. I suppose it is a mistake, and I think at the moment it looks like Jake Marsh's penalty won't have an effect on his final position.
No, I don't think so.
So, that sounds very pretty easy there.
Yeah, he'll be okay. It's 5.2, unless Tim somehow can get something changed. He'll be all okay. Legend Rosenberg is a 3-time champion in Formula Virtual Racing. Nobody will ever come close to that in future seasons, I don't think, because whether any of our one-time champions have the potential to win another championship, we really have to wait and see. McWilliams is the only one. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Legend Rosenberg will march out on the podium for the 22nd time, and for the 3rd time as a world champion.
Oh, turns out Adrian had the last lap puncture.
Ooh.
Huh. I suppose him going early may have ended up being the bad thing.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, your world champion, Legend Rosenberg. Oh, can we take it off him for that? That's awful. That's a terrible celebration.
You are the owner in all fairness.
Legend wins for the third time in Silverstone. He's now the most successful man in Silverstone, as well as probably every other track on the calendar, let's be real. He's now the most successful guy in the league. But it's next week, or maybe this week, is his last race, possibly, because he's becoming a team boss of that McLaren outfit, which he's brought a World Championship to, a McLaren team, which only had 2 wins before him and McWilliam joined. My oh my, they have a lot more. Legend Rosenberg wins in Silverstone. Nobody was even close to that fastest lap at the end. Escobar in second ahead of Luke Davies, who takes a home podium in third. Whether he let Thomas through or not wouldn't have mattered. So Luke Davies takes a well-earned podium in Silverstone. Thomas Main in fourth. The Spanish Minister of Defence in fifth. Juan Hernandez ahead of Jake Marsh in sixth. It's still a good result for Ferrari. They could have had more, but it's still a good result. Tim Wenting in 7th, followed by Borbune in 8th. Guillermo Mayer of Messier picking up some points in 9th out of Enzo King in 10th. There was then Tyler Davison in 11th, and the following finished a lap down. Aaron McFall, Adrian Taisha, Liam Houseman, Leroy Vincendel, Cameron Rowland, Seb Mills. And then your non-finishers were Matsu Mats, Kyle Davis, and Chloe Glennon. Brendan, who wins the Formula 1 Safety Award?
I don't know, really. I suppose I'll give it to Legend because, well, since we're rewarding him with so much today, probably should just leave one more thing to him. Didn't really do anything wrong, so there we are.
Well, what? That was a good race, actually. I enjoyed that one. That was a good race. Brendan, what's your final thoughts on it? Of course, we've one more race. The Constructors' Championship certainly is not sealed, because I think Mercedes outscored McLaren today.
Well, yeah, it would be 27 to 25, 26, so. There we are. I say congratulations to Legend, because that was fairly dominant and a brilliant way to steal the title. That was Fernando Vesta for being able to take a nice second place. And then Juan Hernandez, because that was some of the best defensive driving you would have ever seen.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. It has been a great season. We've one more round. Do not go anywhere. We still have one more round of Formula Virtual Racing Academy and Formula Virtual Racing Action. You can tune into Formula Virtual Racing Academy with Jake Scarborough, if there's an actual stream this week, at 8:30 on Friday. And then you can join us here for the season finale in Singapore. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next time.